Okay, where do we even start here? Well, you obviously see we are building a large table. We had a customer that I can't say his name right now that had us commission this large piece here. Everything you see is real, functioning, decommissioned Hollywood prop, but has been decommissioned so that they could be legally sold for things just like this. All the belted ammo you'll see that's reloaded does not have any powder. It's just an inert round. So what you see me doing right now, I am putting PVC trim down with silicone onto a piece of melamine. So all I do is glue it down. What you might not see is I did run some tape around the outside, but it's very sealed. I just made myself a little bathtub basically that's really rigid. Sprayed mold release in here already. I just don't like to show all the things. I apologize. I get carried away sometimes when we're video and I do stuff before they're watching or filming. Here I'm really just trying to figure out the best layout for some 50 cal. Really just taking my time and trying to step back, really remember to make sure the edges of your table, you don't want any metal or something that's going to be hard to cut right up against that exact edge. Once we start pouring the epoxy, we'll have to adjust that. Mixing is very important, so make sure to follow the instructions. This is our deep cast. It's a very slow cure resin. We can pour a lot of volume at once. What we ended up mixing here was I think we ended up with 4 lifts here, what you call a lift or a pour, or however you want to call it. But we wanted to layer our different projectiles and pieces in there so that the finished piece was a more 3-dimensional look. I don't know if you've ever looked down into like a fish tank. When you look through the side, the fish looks real close. You look through the top, you realize it was 4 feet away or something like that. That's exactly what you get with these big, super clear casting projects. So you'll think you have this was almost a 5-inch thick table that was 1,100 pounds, 110 gallons of casting, but you can have all that and it will look very thin from the top if you don't kind of layer some of your objects. So right here, you see I'm gonna pour until I get about my first 2 inches in here. And then while it's all wet, this is a very slow cure. It's gonna take me about 12 hours of this stuff still being wet. And I'm gonna make sure all the little air bubbles are out. I'm gonna spritz alcohol in it to pop them all. The other thing that it does when you pour under 2 inches, it just makes keeping it cool super easy. This is the next day, by the way, just so you know. And so I'm going to get the resin down first, and then I'm going to start setting these 50 cal casings and just letting the air kind of settle out. I kind of had to mess with each one individually. It didn't take me more than like 15, 20 minutes to place all these though. And usually I let it kind of set and I'll adjust the level, pour as much as I want, and then I spray my alcohol. And each layer, I always spray alcohol. It really helps all the little air bubbles along the sides of pieces, like, stuff coming off the items in your casting, whether it's wood or anything else. And the super slow cast also aids in that. Now, if you're in a nice cool room and mixing according to the instructions on this and just spraying a little bit of alcohol, it'll be plenty. It'll work just plenty good here to pour a pretty heavy top, but it is nice, like I say, to be able to do it in stages and kind of adjust your different pieces so you get a really cool layering effect. So if you notice, I keep kind of adding a little more product. There comes the alcohol. Just pops the air bubbles. It looks a little hazy for a second as it's popping all those bubbles, and then the alcohol evaporates back off the surface, leaving you a very clear base. This is water clear. It's amazing. I mean, you already can see through over 2 inches of it, and yeah, this turned out really nicely. So I should tell you the big secret about this table, and the big secret here is that this table caught on fire. We don't have that on video, thank the Lord. And as you see, I had to CNC the whole thing flat, which also kept it from being like 7 inches thick, with this RPG being so freaking huge. The tail on it was like ridiculous, so I didn't know what to do. So you can see the aluminum that's unpainted in there. I just left it with the raw aluminum showing. I thought it looked cool. But here I am. It literally caught on fire. Somebody sprayed like 2 gallons of alcohol on it, and then I came by and not knowing that and went to torch it, and poof. But all things can be fixed. The resin's very temperature resistant underneath that, so even though it caused a little scarring on the top, I was able to just CNC down through into a perfectly fresh base. A little bit dramatic for me. I'm not used to lighting everything on fire here. So, and then of course, after I got the shape and profile and everything I wanted, coming over here, and this is just our black label, or one of our countertop products here that you can find on the site that I did. It's a really scratch resistant top coat. This here should be a super long lasting. I mean, you should be able to be polishing any scratches out of this for the next 20 years. So very solid, but very heavy. You're going to be wanting to think, where you place this piece, as it is very heavy. It actually was on my office floor for some time, and it actually broke the steel framing underneath my floor because it was a pretty large span there anyways, but it was so heavy that when I moved it, I realized it had actually broke the tile and broke some of the beams under the floor. So here we go. This is still a pretty fresh pour, so you see it's a little wavy. Here it is getting laying out a little more after, say, 20 minutes. Here we go, we're torching it. That's gonna really do a good job at popping any final little air bubbles, keep you that crystal clear look. But remember, we're torching the countertop top coat. We used alcohol to keep everything cool up till then. So here we are. I mean, it's a really nice table base. You gotta be pretty careful dealing with slabs this big, and we'll be mounting our legs. Here's a table actually in the office, as you see, setting on the floor. They did break. And this, like I say, it's about an 1,100 pound table. These are all real decommissioned movie prop replica weapons and inert ammo that's been loaded back in. This is 5 inches thick. It's 110 gallons of epoxy. Really amazing, fun piece to do. It was a full 4x8, and like I say, about 5 inches thick. Remember the aggregate you put in, how much, whatever the pieces are. So they do a really good job at displacing epoxy. And wait till you see what we have coming up here next. It's kind of crazy, our next video, so I can't wait for you to see it. If you like what you're watching, please hit the subscribe button. If you don't really like it, please comment and tell us what you'd rather see. Let me know if I need to be a little more informational, if I talk too fast, or anything else you see. God bless each and every one of you, and please hit that subscribe button if possible. Talk to you guys soon.